Are there aspects to your day that you feel as if you're just, checking the box? Do you ever strive to reach out of your comfort zone, become uncomfortable, and level up? Privileged to be your host, this is Jason Wabick. Now, let's uncheck the box. A great day to everybody out there. Again, my name is Jason Wabick, host of the Uncheck the Box podcast, where today we continue our journey together to be the best versions of ourselves than we could possibly be. And today we're talking personal growth, everybody. Personal growth. Are we moving this thing forward, or are we kind of just standing still and kind of stagnant? You know, that's what I love about this podcast. You know, it's like making a trip around the Monopoly board, right? Just as you get to Park Place and Broadway, you start back over and go back around again. That's, again, the beautiful part about this is that all of these topics, to some degree, intertwine with each other, but yet every week we can focus specifically on little bits that we can take away. And heck, even if we heard it for the second, third, or fourth time, you know, repetition's not a bad thing. It means that we're getting it inside of hopefully our daily practice. So yeah, personal growth, everybody. You know, why personal growth? There's a quote by the infamous Jim Rohn that says, "The only thing worse than not reading a book in your field in the past 20 days is not reading a book in your field in the past 20 days and thinking it doesn't matter." My goodness. Boy, that should strike you. You know, there's another quote by John Maxwell. "Growth is the greatest separator between those who succeed and those who do not." When I see a person beginning to separate themselves from the pack, it's always, or almost always, due to personal growth. I love it. You know, a little bit of a story. Super proud of my daughter, who's 10 years old and went to New York State championships for gymnastics yesterday and took second place in the all-around. We're super proud of her. You know, obviously we had first place, and she had first place on her mind, and was the ultimate goal, but fell a little bit short, but certainly proud. And, you know, today, which as I'm recording this, happens to be Mother's Day, and she really wanted to get into the gym today and work with her coach, and already starting to prepare herself for next year, which the season doesn't start until late fall. And once again, state championships are next spring, right? But the very next day, she wants to get back at it and continue to grow. And so kind of like John Maxwell said, you know, what separates you from somebody else is that constant strive to get better and personally put time and effort into growth. You know, it's called personal because no one else can do it for you, everybody. It has to be your choice. We've talked about that many, many, many times. Personal growth starts within. Outside factors can help motivate you and drive you, but you're the one taking the initiative. You know, I've referenced Dave Anderson, famous business leadership trainer, and he's got this thing called the red belt mentality in martial arts. I believe I may have shared this before, but it's certainly pertinent to today's topic. And having a red belt mentality means in martial arts, a red belt is one of the lower belts, if not maybe entry level. And then obviously black belt, and there's various different degrees of black belt, which is the top. And if somebody metaphorically has a red belt mentality, it means that they're always striving to get better. It means that they've never arrived. They're constantly trying to push themselves, and that certainly applies today, everybody. Okay? If you haven't grown yourselves lately, then how are you going to grow others? You know, some of us listening to this podcast are in positions where we lead other people. We help coach, train, inspire, motivate other people. So if we're not pushing ourselves, how are we going to expect to push others and have others follow? You know, one of the biggest culprits, and we use this as somewhat of an excuse, and I'm not saying that we're completely wrong, but, you know, we get so busy in the hustle and bustle of everyday life that we ourselves stop learning, we forget to put time aside for our own personal growth and our well-being. And my friends, it is impossible to be the best versions of ourselves if we stop learning. That's how we settle back into our comfort zone and we just do what is required, right? We're going to talk about some ways that we can help push ourselves, but what is that saying? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing every single time and expecting different results, right? I love that. Because really, if you want different results, it comes down to what are you going to do differently, right? You can't expect to get different results doing the same thing. And that's why, leveling up and being the best versions of ourselves implies that we're focusing on growing ourselves. So what are the benefits of personal growth and focusing on it? Well, number one, it improves your overall mood, your daily mindset, your focus on positivity, and that's just to name a few. It increases then ultimately your confidence, which leads to better execution of whatever task it is you're looking to accomplish and get better at. More high-level execution means the potential of enhanced performance and better results. Another one is you simply attract people who you are becoming. So if you're on a quest to be the best version of you, then you'll attract better people, which will hopefully push you and help you through this journey. Last week we talked that we're the average of the 5 people that we're surrounded with. So if we continue to push ourselves to surround ourselves with better people, like-minded people, then that means they're going to continue to push us. And again, it forces us into that uncomfortable zone. If you are committed to put into place some of the things that you have been learning and are going to learn today, then you will see improved work ethic and discipline. Everybody, new habits will be forming, and these new habits are of the good kind. So, how are we going to do this? Because we know one thing, it's not just going to happen on its own. We already talked about that, okay? So what are some things that we can do to be cognizant of personal growth on a regular basis? Well, we can listen to things that fill our head and our soul with good things and ultimately change your mood. Things like music, right? The right kind of music can help put us in that right mood, keep our minds open to learning and changing. Listen to positive forms of media. If you're listening to this podcast right now, you're probably, or should I say you've already probably formed some of this in your day. It's how I got into podcasts years ago. It was looking for ways that I could, media outlets, things I could listen to that really spoke to my soul from a positive standpoint. Quiet time to clear your mind and quite frankly, just breathe. We've mentioned it many times before, but just simply breathing and having a breath routine, doing breath work really does help to bring that heart rate down and bring clear focus to our mind. Get organized, everybody, and accomplish tasks. When it just comes down to it, you just got to do it. Planning your week around personal growth is a big one for me. You have to be intentional when it comes to growth, everybody. Okay? You have to be intentional, so that means you have to plan it. So just like we plan other things that are very important, that are a priority to us, then we have to put this into place. And that means not just focusing on one area. You have things like physical growth. Okay, so we can improve in that department. That is finding a daily routine that involves some sort of exercising, but also, eating and sleeping. All of those kind of wrap themselves around that whole physical well-being. Then you have your mental, fill your head with positivity, motivation, things that make you feel better. You have social growth. Learning how to communicate with people better. Learn another language. Learn how to listen. There's many things that we can work on that fit that realm. And emotional growth. Holding stuff in can be bad. So try journaling, decluttering our brain, get it out from inside and then onto paper. Talk with close friends regularly. Seek the help of some professionals that can help coach you and become a better person emotionally. But you're saying, everybody, you're saying to me, but Jason, we're just busy every day. I've got a family. I've got a partner and kids, and I've got a full-time job. When am I going to focus on me? Again, it's not easy, everybody out there. You have to be intentional. So let's break those things down. We just talked about physical, mental, social, and emotional. Okay, so how are we going to plan this into our day? So starting with the physical, don't shoot for 2 hours. Heck, even an hour in the gym. We all know that sometimes that can be extremely difficult. And do you know, you don't even need that much time to really get some of the benefits of putting physical activity into your day. I focus on 30 minutes, and I've shared that with you. But I get my heart rate up, and I make my workout very meaningful. Go on the internet, plenty of spaces that you can join out there that show you ways that you can fit a high-intensity circuit form of training into a half hour each and every single day that you can benefit from. Mental. Again, listening to podcasts, audiobooks. One thing that I really started years ago, I shared it with you, was my commute to work, to and from. I would fill my head with good stuff, and I would be learning and growing, and it's something I still use today. I was working with a coworker last week, and he asks me, he goes, so, hey, Jason, how's that podcast going? And I replied back to him, I don't know, you tell me. and he was probably taken back by that, and his response was, I know I've been so busy, and he kind of knew what I meant by that somewhat sarcastic response, and he was genuine in asking how they're going. But not only am I doing this for me, but I'm doing it for all of you, especially some of my coworkers who I know that maybe that could benefit from me. He basically said, yeah, I've gotten busy. So I said, what do you listen to on the way into work? And he listens to sports talk radio, which is a very popular thing. And, I said, well, I'm not saying exchange that completely, but, maybe one of your trips to work. My podcasts range from 15 to 20 minutes-ish. So, pick 1 to 2 days a week. I do this only once a week, so you only have to pick one commute and listen to this and then find others. But listen to sports talk radio, absolutely. But find the time, because it's not going to find you. So social, how can we be more social? Well, if we're going out to lunch, then ask a friend to join you, especially a friend that maybe, pushes you and inspires you, okay? It can help you also with the emotional front. It forces us to communicate and finding ways to, again, closely bond with one another. So, my friends, those are just a few ways that we can help push ourselves, to help grow ourselves. Be a well-rounded grower, if you will. Social, mental, emotional, physical. Push yourselves every week, every day, every week, every month to strive to be, again, the best versions of yourselves that you can be in every dimension. And I promise you, if you focus on all of these and schedule them and break your week out, you will feel a ton better. I'm telling you, I am walking proof. I'm living proof that if you push yourselves, you will feel 1,000 times better. And you'll feel like there isn't much that you can't accomplish. Everybody, it's been great spending some time with you today. You go out there, have a phenomenal rest of your day, an even better week, and then we will see you next time where we continue this journey together. Take care, everybody. Be well.